So one time, I ate manure just to make my auntie, who always pinched my cheeks and smothered me in the grossest, wettest kisses, stay away. Well, did she? She did! One whiff of my breath and she's never called me for another kiss to this day. I mean, they seemed fun, right? They didn't look like they wanted to rip my heart out of my chest, did they? I knocked on the door and one of the girls answered. Hi, I'm Wynter. Can I please get something to eat and maybe some dry clothes? Oh, hi, you poor thing. Come on in. These are my sisters. Sassy, chill, fierce, nerdy, sparkle, and sweetie. Sweetie, get her a change of clothes and show her where the bathroom is. Sparkle, get her some of that soup you made earlier. Chop chop, ladies. And I'm Bossy. Hi, I'm Wynter. Yeah, I'm a princess from Europe, but don't let the tiara fool you. This isn't some glass slipper, fairy godmother kind of fairy tale. My stepmother? She's a total weirdo with her own set of rules and quirks. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Stick around because the drama, it's next level. Danger, betrayal, and OMG, a ridiculously cute prince. Like seriously, guys, he's dreamy. So hit that like button, subscribe to Confession Diary, and buckle up, besties. Things are about to get totally unhinged. Growing up, I never knew my mom because she passed away shortly after I was born, but I had the most amazing stepmom ever. During the day, we'd take long walks into the woods and pet some of the animals. One day, she got this idea that we should sing to the trees. Will the birds land on our arms? Will the animals prance around like in the movies? I'm sure they will, honey. At age 5, I was so ready for my own animal symphony. As soon as my stepmom started singing, a family of squirrels crept out from the trees. This is it! I was super excited thinking they were about to do a cute little dance or something. Then bam! Acorns start flying at us like little cannonballs. Ah! I ducked just in time, but my stepmom takes one right to the face. She goes down hard, like a puppet whose strings just got cut, and ended up with a black eye for a week. At night, Dad would come in, read me my favorite stories.
As snowflakes drifted down like soft feathers, a queen sat by her window, sewing, when the needle pricked her finger.
He'd tuck me in with the fluffiest blankets. And if I'd had a really bad day, he'd sing me a song until I drifted off to sleep. One super boring afternoon when I was 10, I wandered the castle while Dad and stepmom entertained yet another royal couple. I heard weird scratching sounds coming from inside the castle walls, followed by a voice.
Help me.
My stomach slammed into my ribs. I wouldn't have freaked out as much if I hadn't spent the night before binge-watching the top 13 haunted castles you should never visit. Ghosts aren't real, right?
Are you there? I'm Prince Caspian. I leaned against the wall, fell in, and I can't get out.
I sighed with relief. Okay, not a ghost. Hi, I'm Princess Wynter. Just hang tight, okay? For 5 minutes, I pressed every stone on the wall, but nothing. Then I spotted a tiny, almost hidden lever and flicked it. The wall swung open and out tumbled a boy covered in cobwebs.
Thank you, thank you.
But I'd already forgotten him. A secret passage? My inner explorer was doing cartwheels. Why didn't you just follow the passage?
What if it led to crocodiles or, like, poison dart traps?
Don't be silly. There are no crocodiles in the castle, I think.
Think?
Let's find out. Even though he looked ready to pass out, he followed me. The second the door shut and darkness swallowed us, he shrieked louder than a banshee.
What was that?
I rolled my eyes and grabbed his hand. Relax, Caspian. I've got this. We walked through the passage, and wouldn't you believe it, it led outside. From that day on, Prince Caspian became my best friend, despite his very questionable bravery. When I wasn't teaching him my favorite song, or we weren't arguing about whether the clouds looked like a rhino in a tutu, we'd make mud pies. This one time I even caught him eating one. Worms, dirt, everything. Ugh. Those were the most magical moments of my life. Moments I didn't realize were perfect until they were gone. When I was 13, my world that once fit so perfectly together was suddenly in pieces. Dad passed away, and I don't know why Prince Caspian stopped coming to the castle as well. For weeks, I kept checking the castle gate, hoping Caspian would come running through, but he never did. I lost 2 of my favorite people and felt like someone shredded my heart as I cried every night. But at least I still had an amazing stepmother I could count on, right? Wrong. She went from my sweet stepmom to the Wicked Witch of the West in literally 0.2 seconds. First, she fired all the servants, and guess who got promoted to head chef and housekeeper? That's right, me.
Wynter, scrub these floors until they sparkle like diamonds. Wynter, feed my pet rock.
Yup, you hear that right. A frickin' pet rock. as though I needed another dumb chore to do. Then she locked me out of my room and made me sleep on the cold kitchen floor. She even banned me from going outside. But thank goodness for that secret passage. Every night, as soon as she'd sleep, I'd sneak off into the woods and talk to the animals because I was so lonely. I don't get it. Was she pretending to care about me? About Dad? About everything? I just want everything to go back to the way it was. Years went by, and one afternoon I was passing her bedroom when I heard her speaking to someone. Curious, I peeked through the crack in the door, and my heart skipped a beat.
Darling, do you really think she's fairer than I am?
What in the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is going on here? Was she talking to a freaking mirror? I came to the conclusion that my stepmom's last marble had finally rolled away. Over the next few weeks, she went everywhere with that mirror. Even though I thought she was a total weirdo, I noticed it made her happy, and she even started being nice to me again. One afternoon after I finished my chores, she walked into the kitchen.
Wynter, lunch was superb, and your cleaning skills are amazing. To reward you, I've decided that you can go outside again, and you get your room back.
Oh, thank you! I was over the moon. These little changes in her made me feel as though everything would be all right. So when my 16th birthday rolled around, I thought maybe she'd want to help me bake a cake like we used to. I walked into the throne room hoping she'd be there, but she wasn't. So I went and searched for her and heard voices coming from the kitchen. It was my stepmom and the butcher. And what I heard next stopped me dead in my tracks, and every breath in my chest seemed to freeze.
Are you sure this is what you want, my queen? Yes, she usually goes out back after breakfast. Lure her to the slaughterhouse and bring her heart to me. I'll do the rest.
Her voice was ice, so calm, so detached. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. No, I must have misunderstood. Her heart? Did she mean... Suddenly, a loud crash echoed in the hallway. I whipped my head around and saw a group of squirrels scurrying out the door. Oh, crap! I turned back just in time to see my stepmom's eyes and the butcher's, both locked on me.
Wynter!
I bolted. I was out of there like a rocket, my feet barely touching the ground. And you know the saying, when it rains, it pours? Ugh! Suddenly, dark, angry clouds swallowed the sun. Lightning crackled, followed by the rumbling of thunder. I sprinted until I came to the edge of a waterfall. My heart pounded as I looked back, and the butcher was coming up fast. And that's when I did the most daring thing I had ever done in my life. I jumped! Ah! I stayed under the water for as long as I dared before coming up for air. When I finally surfaced, I climbed out of the water and began walking into the darkness. Hours later, starving, freezing, and desperate for a place to rest, a burst of laughter caught my attention from a house nearby. I peeked through the window and saw 7 girls sitting in the living room. We listen, but we don't judge. So one time, I ate manure just to make my auntie, who always pinched my cheeks and smothered me in the grossest, wettest kisses, stay away. Well, did she? She did! One whiff of my breath and she's never called me for another kiss to this day. I mean, they seemed fun, right? They didn't look like they wanted to rip my heart out of my chest, did they? I knocked on the door and one of the girls answered. Hi, I'm Wynter. Can I please get something to eat and maybe some dry clothes? Oh, hi, you poor thing. Come on in. These are my sisters. Sassy, chill, fierce, nerdy, sparkle, and sweetie. Sweetie, get her a change of clothes and show her where the bathroom is. Sparkle, get her some of that soup you made earlier. Chop chop, ladies. And I'm bossy. Within an hour, I had taken a shower, changed, eaten, and wrapped up in a blanket sitting on the sofa with the other girls. So, what's your story? Chill thinks you were held prisoner by a beast and escaped. I couldn't help but chuckle at the thought. Then I took a deep breath as the girls looked at me, watching, waiting. My story is a bit of a wild ride, but here goes. The girls listened, and by the time I had finished my tale, their jaws were on the ground. Babe, you're staying with us. Fierce will work her magic on you and give you a makeover. And you're gonna have to change your name. What about Anna? Or Jasmine? She looks like a Tiana to me. Eventually, we settled on the name Rain, and the next day after my makeover, I was stunned. My stepmom would never find me now. I decided to lay low for a month, just in case. The girls and I watched sappy movies, made prank phone calls. Is your refrigerator running? Yes. Well, you better catch it! And do the craziest TikTok challenges. Things got loud and crazy at times, but it felt so good. I finally had people my own age to hang out with. I didn't even know how badly I needed this until now. One afternoon, Sweetie suggested that we get some tacos in the park. The park was just down the street. What could possibly happen? The tacos smelled heavenly, and the taste? Oh, glorious. I was just about to take my third bite into my taco when my throat started feeling scratchy and my lips felt weird. That's when I saw it. The tiny words on the taco cart, made with peanut oil. I began waving my hands frantically as I felt my throat closing in and my lips swelling like balloons. Rain, what's wrong? Peanuts. Allergic. Oh my god, she's allergic to peanuts! The girls flew into action. Nerdy called for an ambulance. Sparkle tried to flag down a taxi, convinced the ambulance would take too long, and Bossy screamed into the crowd. We have a life and death situation here, people! If you have an EpiPen, pass it over! The others tried to comfort me, and all I thought through the chaos was the butcher may not have gotten me, but this darn taco sure did. Then out of nowhere, a guy jumped out from the crowd and slammed an EpiPen into my thigh. Oh, freaking spindles! As I gasped for air, a soggy piece of taco sailed through the air from my mouth and plopped into his. Super gross, right? But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that his face began to swell like a kernel of popcorn. Turns out he was allergic to peanuts too. Luckily by then the ambulance had arrived and we were both rushed to the hospital. I know it seems cliched, but in the hospital, the guy who introduced himself as John and I bonded. We spoke about silly things. My fave movie of all time is Mulan.
Like, who even thought about combining mint and chocolate? Gross.
By the time we left the hospital, we had exchanged numbers, and it didn't help one bit that he was so cute either. Over the next few weeks, John and I were joined at the hip, and he got along great with the other girls too. But there was one thing about him though. He was always so secretive when he answered his phone. I tried not to let it bother me. After all, it was his phone and he was entitled to privacy, right? I really liked him, so I let it slide. Until one night right after I went to bed, Sassy came into the room we shared. Rain, how much do you know about John? Like his family, where he lives? Honestly, John and I never spoke about that, and he always came to me. Not much. Why? She seemed a bit hesitant before she spoke. Well, this afternoon I overheard a piece of his conversation. He said that he found her and he'll bring her back soon. You don't think that your stepmom hired a cute guy to find you and bring you back? Hell yes! My world tilted on its axis yet again. Why did bad things always happen to me? Before I could respond, Bossy barged into the room. Girls, come now, we've got a problem. Sassy and I burst into the living room. The moment my eyes landed on the TV screen, I froze. There it was, a picture of me with a cash reward of $1 million, followed by a picture of a house. The house I was currently living in with the girls. How did they find me? Was it John? 1,000 emotions hit me at once. But the one I kept was rage because of his betrayal. Why didn't he just knock me over the head and drag me back when he realized it was me? Why did he wait until I had fallen for him? Girls? Our head snapped to Sweetie, who was looking out the window. There's an angry mob outside the house. We've got to get Rain to safety while the rest of us hold him back. How are we gonna hold back all those people? It's not like the furniture in the house is enchanted and can help us, you know? I shot an anxious glance at the others, hoping they'd have a better idea. Just then, frantic knocks on the window made us all jump.
Rain, let me in.
Before Sassy or I could stop her, Chill opened the window. As soon as John climbed into the room, Sassy smacked him across the face. How dare you betray Rain?
What? I didn't betray anyone. I'm here to get her to safety.
You were the one who told the mob that she's here, aren't you?
What? No! Look, we can either stand here and argue, or I can take her to safety.
Was this a trick, or was he telling the truth? John had always been this easygoing type of guy, but the way he spoke now, there was a certain protective edge in his voice, and something in the pit of my stomach told me he wasn't lying. If you hurt her, we'll come after you.
Cools. Rain, let's go.
John grabbed my hand and we bolted out the back door. But it was too late. Someone had spotted us. We ran, adrenaline pumping in our veins, until we came to an old warehouse, ducking inside just as the angry mob passed. I knew what would happen if they found me, and a knot twisted in my stomach. I hugged my knees to my chest as I tried not to freak out. Memories of Dad singing my favorite song flooded to my mind.
I will always be there for you. Once you hold me in your heart. Your days may not always be bright, but I hope the love that I have for you helps you through your darkest days. You are my girl and will forever be the only light of my life, the only star my sky needs.
up at John. How do you know that song? He took my hand in his.
Because I'm Prince Caspian.
Holy mother of mantra rays! I threw my arms around Caspian, and cried. I had so many questions. You disappeared after Dad died. Why?
My parents thought it was time for me to go to boarding school and get serious about running the kingdom, and I had no access to phone or computers.
But why are you here, dressed like this, and changed your name?
Because they were trying to marry me off to some princess from a kingdom far, far away. I told them if I were to marry, it had to be for love. But gosh, they wouldn't stop calling and pestering me about if I found her yet.
I paused, everything clicking into place. That's why he was so secretive on the phone. And when Sassy heard you telling them you found her...
Yes, I found the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. You. I love you, Wynter. I've loved you since I tumbled out the secret passageway and looked into those gorgeous eyes of yours.
My heart skipped a beat.
Then I told my parents, and they probably did some homework, maybe called your stepmom, and now we're in this mess.
Then he looked at me strangely.
Why are you here?
I quickly told him everything, and when I mentioned the butcher, his expression turned even more confused.
Mom told me your stepmom was planning a surprise party for you, but then your stepmom saw you run. She later put 2 and 2 together. She wanted the butcher to save the pig's heart to add to her rose garden. Apparently it does wonders for the soil.
You've got to be kidding me. Oh, I felt like such a fool.
Are you ready to go home? Your stepmom has been really worried about you.
I nodded.
But first, let me call in some reinforcements.
The girls.
Nope.
Caspian winked and flashed me the cutest smile.
I've got something better.
10 minutes later, a carriage pulled by white royal horses arrived with guards, and Caspian, took me to his place for the night. I called the girls and told them everything was okay, and the next morning, my stepmom arrived and the butterflies in my tummy wouldn't stop multiplying.
Wynter, I was so worried about you.
I'm sorry that I jumped to conclusions, but do you blame me? You turned me into your maid, locked me up, and then you were always talking to that freakish mirror. Tears rolled down my stepmom's cheeks.
Oh, that mirror was the last gift I received from your father. You looked so much like him that I couldn't bear to look at you. I'm sorry. Then I asked the doctor for medication to help, but that didn't work out well since I began seeing your father in the mirror.
Oh, that explains why she always carried it around and seemed so happy. My eyes misted with tears.
Darn side effects of the medication. Hallucination. But I am sorry for everything that I've done, and I'm sorry I made you feel unsafe.
I wrapped my arms around my stepmom. I'm also sorry you went through that. Are you better now?
Yes, I am. And now that the princess has been found, we'll throw the biggest party this kingdom has ever seen.
Can I invite the girls?
Of course you can. Those girls helped you when you needed them the most. Keep them close, dear. Can she invite her boyfriend?
My stepmom looked at me. I don't have a boyfriend, so I have no idea what he's talking about.
You will have a boyfriend if you say yes to me. Wynter, I'd love it if you'd be my girl.
I'd love to. Took you long enough to ask. Caspian pulled me in for a kiss.
Hey, no hanky-panky while I'm in the room. At least wait for me to leave. Oh, these young people these days.